wonderful contribution from our friends. Huh? Oh, sorry.
What?
Wait, let me go to number 1. Okay, here we go.
What can we learn about our transformational approach? The use of metaphors to expand the mind, the fluidity of the dance between the coach and the client, awareness, pause, breathe, and frame calmly. Summarize the
Okay.
conversation with keywords.
Keywords.
It was interesting as to explore the expression of outcome, not the outcome
Mm.
of her process.
Wow, whoever gave this contribution, I'm gonna give a 5-star distinction.
Strongly maintained coaching presence, artful usage of metaphors eliciting vivid images. Metaphors
Yes.
neutralize complex
Yes,
words.
I think picture speaks more than 1,000 words. And this is really true in today's case study.
Attentive listening to
Yeah.
inside or outside the tent. Power of metaphor. The coach picked up a
Yeah.
verbal expression example, peeking into the tent and query on the state of the client instead of addressing the content. The way the metaphors solved the
Yeah.
discrepancy, integrating zoom
And
in.
zooming out. Well done.
Transformational is very powerful and empowering. The
Yeah.
client used a lot of metaphors to describe her understanding of the situation, so it taps to the creative side of clients to
Mm.
achieve clarity.
And we can all see that the shift is organic and the shift is real. And there's nothing that we cook it up, right? It happens fluidity. If it happens organically as the conversation unfolds.
Through expansion of the mind and showcasing positive
Mm.
vibe all around.
That's called applying the game frame.
Frame the content before
Yep.
inquiry. Observing the client and offering what she needs to make sense what's going on inside
Yeah.
of her. Use visuals and imagination. Client is very visual. And even when everything seems abstract,
Mm.
this coaching is able to unwind and create a very refreshing, clear picture. The metaphors do wonders.
This is a very, very high level student. Okay, we got this
The part
already.
where,
Let's just keep, yeah.
yeah, choosing the right components to
Yes.
create a metaphor. And also
Yes.
notice
Yes.
what's most worth pursuing about the
Yes.
metaphor the client
So
creates.
that is an art and science in creating metaphors. So metaphor is not just being creative to come up with pictures. So it's a careful study of the content, and instead of offering back in terms of words, it's now being offered back in terms of a metaphor. But the same principles, I mean, in terms of a picture, and the same principle applied. That means making observation around the essence of the client's narrative. That is only the delivery is different. Okay, we got this one. Let's move on.
Evocative inside out approach to expand the mind, heighten awareness, and deepening the learning through powerful
Wow.
observation, framing, and
I
inquiry.
think this is a first level student who have just completed the training. Very concise to the point.
The calmness of the coach, the good environment and connection created by the coach, right
Right,
usage of
using it.
metaphors that help the client to have physical perspective of the state she's in. It involves listening well, asking the right questions that enable
Mm,
the client to process where she is right now. The coach also helped the client put it all together at the
yeah,
end of the session.
the warmth. Okay, let's
The
just move
warmth,
on. Uh-huh.
really connecting with their true
True
self, their
self.
position, and their own perception of their narrative
Yes.
during the initial
So
stage.
here the coach demonstrated one of the ICF marker that is to support the clients to consider how they perceive the world and use that perception to support the clients to evoke greater awareness. So it's only one marker that has been used very extensively throughout this case study.
Need to be a very deep listener to strike the right conversation in the positive direction. Partnering with the client and her ability to think in metaphors. Coach's ability to direct the client's mind to what is
Yeah.
positive and possible, and to reflect and deepen understanding. Logic is not enough to create deep lasting change when it comes to working deeply with another human
I
being.
know where this comes from. It must be from a students who are just doing the first level. Okay, thank you. Now you get to understand that our transactional mode of coaching is not enough to create a kind of deeper impact.
Full partnership was created with lots of offerings, and the coach adapted his pace, voice, and way of sharing to the way of
Oh,
learning of the
wow.
client.
Must be a third level students. Okay. So metaphor.
Coach leading the
Yeah.
conversation to have it under 30 minutes, the pause and the speed of the coaching session would allow the coachee and client to have a good
Good
space to
one.
dig deeper within herself.
This
This
conversation with
conversation I learned how the mind needs to be expanded and opened up, and I see how the science works to draw out the essence and frame it
good.
in such a powerful manner. The choice conversation, which the coach used to leave the client with powerful punchlines to sustain the
Yeah.
reflection which the client stated during the coaching session. Being in partnership with the client
Mm-hmm.
throughout the conversation. Her
Wow.
the client could see her end product through using the gold metaphor, and the liquid part was the process she had been till now. She finally integrated the process into a form.
Very profound.
It is far from tangible. Three-quarters of the conversation was spoken through images and metaphors. It requires an immense level of being
Wow.
in the moment alongside sharpness, and it
Wow.
challenges.
I'm not sure where this is coming from, but it must be really from a professional, mature, coaches. Okay.
Voice of the client's words that
Yeah.
crystallize the essence of what is all about and the client's who at this stage.
Yeah. Visual. Okay, let's just
Client
skip
is
this.
visual.
Yeah. Framing help the client doesn't solve the problems. That is a key here. It doesn't solve the problem, but expands the mind to extract understanding. Diversion in the thinking of the clients. Well done. And the next is how the coach perceive the clients and also how the clients perceive their own experience. And then picking up keywords like detach, putting aside, integrate that with the entire experience while still holding space. Yes, it's like juggling a lot of things in the mid. The coach posting in the client. Everybody, if we can all turn on the camera before we go into the other room, should we all turn on the camera and give our client high five? Woo! It's the clients who make the case very complicated, not the coach who makes it complicated. Good. I hope it is an eye-opening experience for most of you, for all of you to see how far we can take this transformational approach into, a deeper end where we can truly invite. Now, the word invite change doesn't come from Coach Masters Academy. It actually comes from my mentor, Janet Harvey, where she, established this organization called Invite Change, right? I really love the word inviting change. And so I hope this is an eye-opening experience for you to see how an approach. Now, remember, we are not teaching our coaches here how to do coaching. Are you all with me? We are not teaching you how to do coaching. Why? Because that is outdated. How many of you are still using typewriter? You don't, right? Lydia was saying, why do we need to use typewriter when we can use computer? Precisely. Why do you need to do coaching when you can have a conversation? Right? No, the whole idea of doing coaching or learning coaching is going to be an outdated version. Why? Because it's more than just asking questions. It's about understanding the nature of the mind and what is the nature of change, and use that to create a process which is basically expanding the mind, heightening the awareness, and deepening the learning. So there are signs that that you can understand, and then use that understanding to create something. Which one is more sustainable? And you have to seriously ask yourself these very important questions. Does every client, is every coaching conversation the same? If it's not the same, then you need to have the agility to adapt to the dynamic contour of your client's story. Are you with me? And if you want to learn the skill of, doing coaching, then you have to pay attention to how you are being trained to do the work. Are you with me? Right. So here in Coach Masters Academy, that's the reason why we do not teach technique. However, we give you deep understanding. Good. And you can see the application are very simple. Frame, expand. Well, of course, in that is first level. And the second level, you get to learn challenge. Okay. Connect. And then in the higher level, you get to offer. But you can see it's very simple piece. Got it? But a lot to learn around how you make observation about the narrative, which is a central focus of CMA philosophy. Observe the content. Cool. Great. So I'm going to pass the time over to um, Isaac. Maybe Isaac will just invite one faculty members to say something, to hold the space. And I'm going to invite you to join me to another room. The link is found in the chat box. We're going to unpack the learning in the other rooms. And that's where I'm going to share with you some of the nuggets that's happening behind the scene. Cool. Good. So copy the link, and then I'm going to leave now. And then in 3 to 5 minutes time, we will meet in the other room. As that, can I pass the time over to you? I have made
Sure.
you the host